Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all. Thank you very much for joining today's webinar. It's a great webinar for all those who are working in the education industry. So whether you are an LMS administrator, whether you are running your customer education program, whether you are an HR person who is looking to build the skill set within the organization, it's a great webinar to understand more about what digital credentials are and how it can help you boost your training program. We are going to a little bit focus more from the customer education perspective, but you will find that generally this webinar is applicable for all different types of education leader. So we know with the demand growing for a transferable and transparent skill building, the digital credential and open learning batches are becoming more and more nowadays norm of a certificate of completion. My name is Manish Gupta, and I'm going to be your moderator today, and I'm also going to be presenting in the later part of the session today. Today, I'm joined with an L&D expert, Brian Rush, who will be basically covering majority of the webinar, educating us about digital credential, open batches, their benefits to the whole ecosystem, and how potentially it can benefit you. Quick housekeeping. So if you have any questions, feel free to post them into the question panel of your GoToWebinar control panel, or you can, if you have any questions after the webinar, then feel free to contact us via the user community. So here is a quick agenda for today's discussion. So especially if you see that what are digital credential, what are open badges, how can you use this, create a digital credential strategy that can benefit not only your organization, but also the users who are associated with getting those certification. What are some of the benefits of these digital credential for the different players in the system, whether you are an earner of a digital credential, whether you are an issuer of a digital credential, we'll be covering those aspects. And finally, we'll have a demonstration for EduBrate platform, that how you can leverage EduBrate platform in setting up one of the standard of the digital credential open badges, and how you can award that to your users and allow them to showcase those open badges in their social media or other places. So with this, I will invite Brian to continue.
Thank you, Manish. So as Manish mentioned in this first bullet here, what are digital credentials? So we're going to go ahead and start with that. What are digital credentials? Well, they're in the news a lot these days. There are a lot of buzzwords going around, and there are a number of use cases for digital credentials. It's a growing set of technology and standardizations, and it's certainly maturing, but to the uninitiated, it can be a bit overwhelming. Let's try and make some sense of all these word clouds. So here's a quick overview. Open source digital credential specifications are currently under the stewardship of IMS Global Learning Consortium, an international member-funded standards organization that operates in the educational technology space. Open badges are portable, verifiable digital credentials containing metadata about the recipient, including evidence of earning. The metadata contained within an open badge allows anyone to identify the issuing organization, view the badge standards, and verify and evaluate the learner's achievements. While open badges are primarily for validation of practical learning of skills and competencies, a CLR, or Comprehensive Learning Record transcript, is more for formal learning institutions to use as a digital transcript for documenting an individual's specific achievements. So to simplify, one can think of open badges more for validation of experiential learning, whereas a CLR is more for a validation of a body of knowledge. In both vocational and academic education, there is a need for open badges as well as the CLR. For example, if a local community college offers learning of the trades, A student in the culinary program needs to know how to determine both the food cost for menu items, but also needs to demonstrate how to correctly make a hollandaise sauce. Or perhaps a university has a chemistry course with an associated lab, and the student needs to validate the correct use of the lab equipment prior to beginning the experience. So these are some of the various use cases where it can be used in professional and academic realms. A third specification, also managed by IMS Global, is called CASE, or the Competencies and Academic Standards. This exchange is a framework for education competencies that establishes a standard way to exchange information about learning and education competencies. It also allows applications, systems, and tools to readily access and manage data by having universal identifiers for education competencies, making it possible to easily share information between systems such as learning management systems, assessment tools, and certificate and competency-based evaluation systems. For the remainder of this discussion and demonstration, we're going to focus on open badges. Open badges are connected verifiable credentials representing portable image files shareable across the web. Open badges represent a more detailed picture than a CV or resume, as they can be presented in ever-changing combinations, creating a constantly evolving picture of a person's lifelong learning. It is also the name of a group of specifications in open technical standards, which describe a method for packaging information about accomplishments, embedding it into a portable image file as a digital badge, and an infrastructure for badge validation. Learners can earn the badges, which are stored in a free Mozilla backpack. Let's talk about the history of open badges. The MacArthur Foundation provided funding for Mozilla to begin open badges, which were born in 2011. The Open Badges standard was launched by Mozilla in October 2012. Mozilla then launched Open Badges 1.0 at the 2013 Digital Media and Learning Conference, followed by a full launch of Mozilla Open Badges. During the 1.0 phase, Digital Me made significant code contributions to the badge backpack where user data is hosted. In 2014, a network of organizations and individuals committed to the building an open badging ecosystem and advancing the Open Badges specification formed the Badge Alliance Standard Working Group. Founding members include Mozilla, the MacArthur Foundation, Digital Me, Sprout Fund, the National Writing Project, and Blackboard. In 2015, Concentric Sky, a software design and development firm in Eugene, Oregon, began leading the development of Open Badges 2.0 in partnership with MacArthur Foundation spinoff Collective Shift. That same year, Concentric Sky launched the open source project Badger. In addition to a powerful issuer API and browser-based user interface for issuing, Badger offers integrated badge management and sharing for badge earners. In December 2016, the Badge Alliance released its final 2.0 recommendation and handed the ball off to IMS Global for finalization. In January 2017, Open Badges stewardship was formally transferred to IMS Global. The IMS final release for Open Badges 2.0 was in October of 2018. Concentric Sky has also donated its Badge Check badge validation tool to IMS Global to serve as the initial validator for Open Badges 2.0. So once the badge has been created by a Badger issuer using a badge platform, the badge is sent electronically to the recipient who is invited to claim the badge. Once claimed, the earner can use the URL for the badge to display it on social media, websites, or to send it to consumer organizations such as employers or institutions. At any point, a consumer can verify the validity with the badge issuer to ensure it has not expired, together with the details about the issuing organization, what the earner has done to achieve the badge, the assessment criteria, any evidence that the badge was issued to the expected recipient, and any other unique detail that relates to the badge. A badge award at its most basic level involves the issuer creating a badge assertion file that contains information about a single badge which belongs to an individual earner. This is done by using a badge class which contains information about the accomplishments a specific badge recognizes. Many assertions may be created corresponding to one badge class. Typically, the issuer will contact the recipient when a badge is awarded. Badges may be delivered as a baked portable image file with assertion data embedded in it, or by using the Mozilla Backpack Issuer API, where a badge earner logged into the issuer website is guided through a flow to claim the badge and send it to a Backpack account. A badge's authenticity is verified when a displayer confirms that an individual or organization issued a particular badge to a user and that it is still valid. Badge authenticity may be re-verified at any time by using the verification procedure outlined in the Open Badges specification. The Mozilla Open Badge Infrastructure, or OBI, allows issuers to issue badges via the API and metadata spec, and allows displayers to have the badges read via that API and metadata spec as well. So this whole authentication and claim making process is linear in both senses. So websites and organizations and education providers can be the issuers, and the displayers might be a personal blog or profiles or social networking sites or even resumes. And Open Badges are based on JSON linked data, or JSON LD, which stands for JavaScript Object Notation for Linked Data. It is a method of encoding linked data using JSON and takes a conglomeration of data and organizes it and connects it into structured data. The benefits for the learners. Open Badges put learners in control of how and where they share verifiable evidence of their skills and achievements with people, organizations, and social platforms. A backpack is linked to the learner and not to any badge provider. It allows earners to earn skills gained through a variety of experiences, regardless of their age or background. These credentials show evidence of rigor of the academic achievement through the inclusion of criteria, assessment details, learners' evidence, alignment with external frameworks, accreditation details, and endorsements. Open Badges allow earners to follow their interests and passions. Badges can be shared in blogs, websites, e-portfolios, and professional networks, as well as on job applications and social media sites such as Twitter, Google+, and Facebook, and LinkedIn. You can even embed it into your email signatures. And benefits for issuers. Open Badges provide a new way to identify talent based on competency and attitude, helping employers and educators better match individuals with non-traditional experiences to relevant opportunities. They can be used to build pathways to support individuals to work towards learning goals, provide routes into employment, and nurture and progress talent within organizations. They're based on an open specification which enables badges to be issued and transferred across the web and offer digital exchanges across different learning providers and across borders. They provide an alternative way for them to get validation for their skills and achievements, and give them a marketing method for developing a community of experts globally whose skills are verifiable. With that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over. Oh, there's one more here. So among other benefits for issuers are increased commitment So people are invested in it. If they've earned their badges, they're more committed. There are increased skills for the company. There's a registry of individual skills available, which allows people to identify skill gaps as well as identify experts. And it also provides a presence for social media. And experts can be easily identified, and there's no tying to any particular organization. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Manish. Manish is going to give a demonstration on using open badges within EduBrite. Manish?
Thank you very much, Brian. Let me take the control here. All right. Thank you very much, Brian, for providing some wonderful information about the digital credential, the open badges, the history, and the benefit. And as I earlier said, that the benefit could be for anybody who is looking in this education world, looking to basically create a larger community of the users and make sure that they are certified and their certificate information is available publicly in the social media and other places, and which is completely verifiable. That gives the power, and we do see a huge benefit in the especially for those who are looking on the customer education program. So from the LMS perspective, EduBrite's perspective, we are going to first talk about some of the steps which you need to perform in order for doing the setup. So you need to be the LMS administrator in EduBrite in order to complete this setup. And once you have that setup, then basically, because EduBrite offers an integration with open badges, your organization can automatically become an issuer organization. So these are some of the steps which are listed here. So first step essentially is you need to have a badge features enabled. So this is a standard badge feature which is available in EduBrite for quite some time. So that feature needs to be enabled, and if that is enabled, then essentially you can enable the open badges functionality. And then there is some setup related to the open badges, so we'll go through these steps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the platform, and then I'm going to walk you through these steps. So this is a demo site which we are going to use for today's demo, and here if I have logged in as the LMS administrator in this particular site, so you will see all the different options available to the administrator. And one of the options essentially available for administrator is in the site detail. If I go open the site detail, this is where the administrator can do a lot of settings, and one of the settings essentially they can do related to the badges. So they can set up a site level property called badge equal to true. If they set up that property, that essentially enables the badge functionality in this particular microsite. So it is a site specific. If you are not interested in using a badge functionality, you don't have to use it. But in case for today's demo, you need to have this set up. In addition to that, there is another property which is enabled, is called enable open badges equal to true. So once these two properties are enabled, then essentially you can not only set up the badges, but we will show you how you can convert or upgrade these badges into the open badges. So once you have a first property added, you will see this menu option here inside the site admin. So let me go into the badges here. This shows the list of all the badges which are available in this particular LMS site. So you can see these are the list of the badges, their name, their description, that information is available. Now, if you enable the second property, which I talked about, the enable open badge property, then essentially it gives you the option to set up a badge issuer settings. So you can go to this badge issuer settings, and these are some of the fields or information which you need to set up to basically do the setup as a issuer. So first you need to provide the name of the issuer, who you are, your organization's name. So if you are a software company or if you're a technology company, simply it could be your name. The second is you will provide an URL, and this essentially URL This could be a CMS page, this could be a WordPress page, or it could be a link to your site essentially, which provides a detail about your badging program. So for example, in this case, we are using EduBright's CMS, inbuilt CMS engine to create this page. So I have this page already open here. So this page provides the detail about the issuer, what kind of university they are, what kind of badges they offer, some details. So you can have this full HTML page providing the detail of the overall program, individual badges, that kind of information. And if you want, you can even create links to these details of these individual badges and create another CMS page where you can, if somebody clicks on the details of the first badge, they can see more details about what is the admin level 1 badge. Those kind of things you can do. So you can create more CMS pages with that. So let me come back here. Then you have to have a third mandatory field which you would need is a salt. And this essentially is a string that is used to encrypt learner's email address in the badge award JSON. So this is a mandatory from the to meet the open badges specification. And you don't have to do anything. You can just click generate and system generates the information here. And then these are some additional fields, informational fields, and you will see the usage of these fields when the actual badge is going to be issued. So let me just go back onto the badging page here. How I'm going to start is I'm just going to start with adding a new badge so that you can see the full flow of it. So we'll click add new, and it would ask me to add a file here. So I can just simply go and select a file. So I can just go here, for example, select one file here, and then I can name this, for example, I can provide some name to it. So you can see this is a file which has been just added here. And if I need to change the information, I can further change the information. I can simply go into the edit, and I can call this as and I can call this as a badge 3. That was the file name that was added here. So you can see a new badge is added here with the admin level 3 expertise. Now this is a local badge. Anytime you add a badge in EduBright, it is by default it becomes a local badge. So you can see the usage of both local badges and open badges. So you may have certain programs, you have a full flexibility here. You may have certain programs, for example, you want to award a badge for employee to complete the onboarding, or maybe you have a customers who are doing some initial onboarding sessions. So for those kind of accomplishments, you can issue the local badges. But if you have some other programs, for example, if you're a software company or technology company or some other company who are really offering some sort of a certification program for various levels of skills, for example, your software may have administrator role, it may have a developer or manager role, or it may have end user role. And for all these different roles, you may have a different learning program and different certifications. Then essentially those kind of programs you can convert into open badges. And how do you convert it? The process is pretty simple. You see the simple open badges, upgrade to open badges icon here. You will just simply click on it. And once you click on it, you can basically provide the information about this particular badge. So for the time being, if you have a separate page available, you can use that separate page for the this particular badge. But right now I only have one CMS page for this particular demo. So I'm going to add the URL of that particular page here and just save it. Once I save it, you will see this open badge icon moves next to the actual badge here. So that's indicated that this particular badge has been upgraded from local to an open badge. So this is just a pretty simple, straightforward steps which your LMS administrator would have to perform. Once the badge is upgraded to open badges, that the next step essentially is either your LMS administrator can perform, or the course authors or instructors can perform. What they need to do is go to the course and or basically assign this particular badge to the course. If you're using a learning plan or what we call an EduBed program, then you can associate there also. So depending upon where you want to do it. So for the time being, I'm going to just associate this particular badge with one of the course. So I'll go into the edit of the course and go to the properties, and this is where I will see this select a badge. So I will just select a badge. This is the badge which we just added. So I can add the badge here. I can just simply save and publish. So now this is a step, as I said, your course author or LMS administrator can perform now. So for what we have done is we have done the settings. If I go back here quickly on, we have enabled the badge feature. We have enabled the badge open badges functionality. We have set up the issuer setting. We have added a badge. We have upgraded a badge, and we have assigned the badge to a Coursera program. So now the setup is complete. Now we can go and have a quick learner's view on this, how the badge is getting awarded to this particular learner. So I'm going to change my browser here, go into the learner's dashboard. So this, I'm on the same side. This is the learner's view. And if you learners are on their dashboard, they can see the different programs they are enrolled into, different events, courses. So I'll just go into the course here, and this is the course which we have used. So what I'm going to do is just launch this particular course here. And it's just a pretty simple short course for demonstration perspective. So let me just, as a learner, go through this course. It has one PDF file here. So let me just quickly go navigate through here, and a quick Word file here. And a YouTube video. And I can skip all that, and then I can go to the last item, which is a course feedback. So let me just complete this. And you can find the information about the course building, the course experience in some other webinars which we have. So just let me provide feedback on this course, and here I can provide pretty detailed feedback, and let me just complete it. So once this user completes this particular course, the badge was associated with this particular course. So what we are going to do is we are going to go back to the dashboard, and then we'll go to the learnings of this particular user, and we will see. So now you can see this particular badge which was just assigned to a course which this particular user has completed. You can also go into the completed course, this particular course which is completed. You can see this particular badge sign is also available here, or they can see in the my badges here. Now here in this user's profile, you are seeing several badges available here, and some of the badges are showing the option to share, but not all of them. So this particular badge, for example, in this case is a local badge, so that's why you're not seeing the sharing option. So this is a fundamental difference between the local badge versus the open badges, because open badges are going to be available for sharing, and when they are available for sharing, then you will see that the images, as Ben has talked in the previously, that these are baked images, and these images do contain a lot of metadata associated with the earning of the badges of this by this user, the issuer, the skill, certification, those kind of things. So let's start pretty simple here. So for example, if you want to just simply tweet about your earning, you can simply click on the Twitter option here, and you can log into your Twitter account, and you can just simply tweet this particular earning of your badges. You can also see, let me just take this URL, and I can just show you a little bit more about this particular. So you can see anytime a user or a earner or a learner, you can call in this case, earns a badge, open badge, you can see a dedicated URL is created for that specific earning from that particular specific issuer. So you can see in this case, you can see the issuer's detail, you can see the issuer's name, you can see the description and email, and all this information is coming from the issuer setting which we have done. And if you click on this, let me open in the next tab, this provides a further verification in the details, because this page would take you to the issuer's site or some authenticated page where you can have the information about the company who is issuing the badges and the details related to badges. You would be able to see. You'll be able to see the badge name. You will be able to see here the description, the name, of course, of the person who is awarded here and the award date. In case this particular course which is awarded has an expiration date, then you will see that information also available in this. So depending upon how your badge is created or how your badge is earned and the different metadata associated with it, it would display those options to you. Let me go back here. Another place is there are some organizations where you can essentially allow, you can aggregate your badge of, they are acting more like a collectibles or storage, you can call it. So backpack happened to be one of them. So in this particular case, I have logged in, I have an account in a backpack from this particular user who is taking this, who's a learner here. They also have an account in a backpack, so they can see all their achievements can be stored here. So if this is a batch one this particular user has earned, so if they're earning another batch and if they want to share in a backpack, they can simply go here and select that option, and then they can grant permission. And once the permission is granted, then you will see that this message that this badge is successfully shared. And if I go back to the backpack page and refresh it, I'll see another badge has been added to the kitty of this particular learner. Another option which is available here is a download. So you can download this particular image, which I was calling, or Brian has referred to as a baked image. So you can see this, the name here, and it is, we have added also this suffix here called baked images. And the purpose of this is that this particular image can be used to verify the authenticity of your earning. And how it can be used, so we'll just see that in a minute. So for example, Brian talked about the MS Global Learner Consortium, which is basically leading this particular standard. So they have provided a mechanism that if you have a badge, you can validate using this validator capability. So all you have to do is you have to upload that badge image here. So you can just simply go here, and let me just quickly, let me just pick this image, which is from just a minute back. And if I submit here, you can see the validity equal to true. And this is where we were talked about that the badge award JSON, you will see all the details which are available here related to this particular badge, that who is the issuer, their URL, the email name, all that information is available into this. There is another site which can also be used called Jeffrey's Image Metadata Viewer. And this can also be used if you want to verify the image here. So you can put that image. In addition to image, you can also put the URL that was issued with this particular batch. If that is your preference, you can do that. But I'm just going to show you here through the image. So once I select this particular image, you can see the image shows up here. But in addition to images, you can see here in the open badges, you will see the full JSON, and it has all the details related to the earning of this particular badge. So you would be able to verify that. In addition to that, if you just want to copy the badge URL JSON, you can do that. So you can just simply go and paste this, and you will be able to view the similar information which was associated here into this particular URL. Now, another place which is probably the more popular place where you can share your badge is, of course, especially for the professional learning, is a LinkedIn. So in order for you to do that, you can just simply go click LinkedIn here. And what it does is LinkedIn currently allows you to manually insert your certification. So it opens the certification page here where you can input the information, And if you go back to the previous tab here, it has all the information which you need to basically copy paste. So you can, for example, copy here the badge name. You can paste the badge name. If you want the issuing organization, you can copy that information. You can paste that information. And here it allows you to select the organization. So this is the dummy organization which I have. But if you have a real organization like company, some tech company or software company or company which is already in the LinkedIn, you'll be able to pick that company directly from here. Then I can just put the month and the year, which was also available here. And then I can put the credential URL. So I can just simply go here and put the credential URL. And once I do that, I can save the badge now, this in LinkedIn. So if I go to my profile here, let me just refresh my profile so that way it reflects. And adding a badge in LinkedIn is no different than what would perform without even having an open badge. So you can always add your credentials in the LinkedIn, but we just followed this process here. So you can see this badge 3 is added here. And if you click on this credential, it will take you to the same page which we have demonstrated previously, which has the issuer's detail and the badge details related to this particular learner. So this is at very high level I wanted to cover from the discussion perspective. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to take these questions while you can post them into the question panel, and I can, for the time being, move into the conclusion here. So Brian, do you want to talk about conclusion?
Sure, Manish. Thank you. It was a great demo. So the skills required for the workplace are constantly changing and shifting at a rapid pace. In fact, it's estimated that by 2020, 60% of new jobs will require less than 20% of the skills we as professionals currently possess or value. So with that, it's going to be very important to document all the new skills that you have, and open badges are going to be a great way to do that. Companies like IBM and Microsoft are not just issuing badges, but are getting involved in contributing to their evolution. There's a number of educational institutions, including MIT, that are getting heavily involved in digital credentials as well. By sharing, individuals can showcase their achievements to consumers, turning them into a valuable currency to unlock new opportunities.
Great.
Alternative credentials provide clear-cut opportunities to advance careers and expand skill sets, and for institutions that cater to the needs of today's budding and established professionals, success and longevity is inevitable. Thanks, Manish.
Okay, thank you, Brian. So I'll add just a couple of more points based on the discussion which we had here on the conclusion. Essentially, the way I see it, that if you want to make your training program a success, if you want to take your training program to the next level, if you want to develop a larger communities of expert, which is verified by you, but the information of those verified experts are available publicly in the public domain, basically that can give you big power to have a successful education program, whether you are a customer education manager or you are offering some sort of a training institute who is offering some specific skills set. Not only that, if you think about that from the end, the customer's perspective, if I'm a company looking for an expert who's certified in certain skill, that makes it very easy for me, because there is going to be a community of expert, which basically as a consumer, I would be able to find those experts in this particular case certified with this skill set. Now, I'm seeing a couple of questions, Brian, here. So let me just read these questions and then we can take that. So the first question is there any specific criteria there to become a issuer who would issue the open badges? Uh, Essentially, there is not a big criteria as such, as long as you are an organization or an institute who is offering some sort of a training and who have a program where you want to certify the people, then you can use a platform like EduBrite, a LMS platform, or you can also use a badge specific platform which allows you the capability of open badges, and you can basically become an issuer of those badges. So rather, you may be using the badge features in your LMS, or maybe some third-party badging tool. You may be issuing the local badges right now, but this basically gives you an additional power where you can be allowed, you can allow your learners to share the badges into the social, and these are going to be verifiable badges. Another question is from a earner's perspective, that where can they display the badges? So yeah, so we talked about it a little bit. So it's they have several options. So first, one of the option I have shown, especially for the professional certification, is a LinkedIn. So that could be one of the most popular places. The second could be if you have a soft resume, or if you are sending an email to somebody. These some of the links which I have shown you, or I have shown you that baked images, those can be included in that particular communication. So essentially, you have a full control where you want to keep your badges, or open badges, or badges related information. You can also use the facilities like Backpack, which I have shown you, where you can essentially put your all badges that could be placed. And then there are some other players which are basically, as these standards are further evolutions are happening, you will see more players would be offering those kind of capabilities. The last question which I'm seeing here as of now is, what does the information what information is contained within the badges? Yeah, so we have shown in one of the example here, which I can probably pull out again if I have it open here. Yeah, so this is just a sample. This is not the complete information. So basically, if you really see, it includes the information about the organizations, who has issued, the details about that organization, the validity of their program, some links to basically provide more details about the programs which they are offering. It also contains the details about this particular badge, description related to a badge, who is the earner, when was it awarded, and in this particular case, I don't have the expiration date, but if there's an expiration date, that can also be shown. Actually, let me see. I have an example here. If I can use this example here. So let me just go here on the, to pick up this URL. And once I pick this URL, let me see if this particular, yeah, you can see in this particular badge, there is an expiration date. Available. It's more like a recurring certification where you can, some sort of a programming certification is issued, and there is a year-long validity of this particular program. So you'll be able to see those kind of things. So it depends on the information which is associated with the badges. The metadata of the badges contains all those informations within it. Okay, we'll give it a few more seconds, Brian, and if there are any other questions, otherwise we can conclude. Okay, yeah, there's one more question I'm seeing, that what are the key roles to make this whole process work? Yeah, so there are primarily three main roles which I see. The first role essentially is of the organization which is issuing the badges. In most of the cases, the issuing organization could be the same as the certifying organization, but there could be some cases if you are, for example, a reseller of software, then you reseller could be an issuer, but the actual endorser of this particular badge could be the actual software company whose reseller is issuing. So in that case, that could be two player. Then the earner of a badge, which is basically learner who is going through the course, learning skills and achieving and completing that successfully. And then the third is essentially the displayer. So these displayer could be the place which I have shown you a few minutes back. Either it could be a LinkedIn, Backpack, or some other sources. All right, so this brings us to the end of our session. So this is just a one slide before we conclude, that you can stay connected with us via the users community, and you can find all this information which we just talked today in the users community, including the webinar which we had today. There will be a recording of the webinar that will be posted in the community. We'll show you that, and you can use the other resources. Those are available in EduBrides. So let me go into the EduBrides quickly university and show you that. So let me. So this is EduBride University, where we have a community, and if you have any questions, then you can come back after this webinar. Feel free to post it. This is where you will see the list of all the upcoming webinars or the events. This is a webinar which is happening right now, and these are some of the upcoming webinar. And so keep checking on it, or you can subscribe to our follow our Twitter account at EduBride for getting more updates about the upcoming webinar. And if you are looking for the recordings, you can just simply go into the past webinar here, and this will show you all the webinars which we have done, their recording you can find there. So if you are interested in sharing with your colleagues, feel free to share it.